Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode from Valley Nation. Today we are at Melbourne University. This is South Lawn. This is actually the university I did my undergraduate at. I did my medical science, so it's good to be back and do this episode here in the white. And Omar, you also went to uni a long time ago?
Yeah, a long time ago, yeah, but it brings some really nice memories.
Yeah, great. Yeah.
The spaces, the feeling of the university,
Great.
it's good to be back.
Right. And basically today we want to talk about the future of jobs, and as we are in a university, what is it for young people to think about when they're thinking about careers, when they think about studies, when they think about personal skills and growth that they need to have. And the reason we thought of doing this particular episode is because the World Economic Forum just recently released a report about the Future of Jobs report 2025, and there's some interesting stuff in that report that we would like to cover and discuss and explore, mainly because it really kind of touches on the values and the approach we're taking in Valley Nation, in the way we approach business and the way we approach impact, values, and impact, and community as well. So maybe I'll start with few trends that the report sets up, and basically what it says is that 60% of the employers see that by 2030 business world will be reshaped, and that's because of few things that are happening. One, the impact of AI, automation, new technologies that are coming. So global digitalization, remote work since COVID as well has impacted on that. There's a cost of living squeeze, which means
It's already impacting people now.
exactly right. So both people themselves are looking for better jobs, but also
Looking for a more affordable cost of living, and
Exactly.
maybe even geographically they're moving around.
exactly where. Yeah. So some people moved during COVID and after COVID to regional towns even to find a better life work balance while they can do their remote work. Also, in the next few years, there is a lot of jobs that will be created in different industries. One big one is the environmental and green industries and economy. That is also shaping to be a big one, including electronic cars and self-driving cars. There's a huge, the report shows that the trend of the changing demographic nature, young people versus old people in different societies and countries are going to be impacting on how businesses and how people think about future of jobs and what kind of what kind of careers and jobs they are willing to be educated in, trained in, and then doing. For example, in Australia, we have an aging community and an aging society, whereas some other countries they have much younger society. So the challenges for different societies will be different with time. And the last one is around geopolitical tensions. So things around different powers and power blocks trying to take control over the best AI, the best cybersecurity effort, the best utilization of AI in industries, but also in weaponry and other industries as well. And I think all of that is going to make the next few years an exciting time for change and people who are willing to adapt change and utilize change. Any reflection on some of these trends that we talked about from the report?
I remember like when we were like very young, when we were at the university, the computer just started to emerge into the societies. And I remember very clearly my uncle brought the first computer, which was like really large block of, and there's a recording next to it. It was very basic technology, but still at that time it was so impressive for people that had never seen a computer before. And then ever since the computer showed up, we thought, like me included, few young generation, they thought like, this is the future, we really need to study on that. So the first thing that I did is, beside the university, which I was studying economics and national planning, I started to take courses on Microsoft and Windows and operation systems, and I started then coding and then programming, then C++ at that time. And then eventually I thought like, no, I need to understand even deeper, so I took even hardware course. So I need to understand why this one isn't. So again, the shift is coming on a much bigger scale now. So there's a new entity, new invention is coming, and it's coming really fast, really powerful. And we really need to be, all of us, we need to be paying attention to that shift. And we really need to utilize that shift on our own advantages, whether we are a business or a human being or personal or students or even parents. We should tap into that change. So I couldn't agree more.
Yep. So I'm just kind of reflecting on what you said. During those periods, let's say the 80s and early 90s, the new revolution was computation. So computers came and replaced a lot of jobs. Where people started doing work on.
But also created a lot of jobs.
Created a lot of jobs. So Excel and kind of spreadsheets and Word documents and all of that replaced a lot of the manual things that people used to do. And then in the kind of early 2000s, the internet came and made us a global community, which meant also a lot of jobs were created, a lot of jobs were replaced and disappeared. And then now we're living in a different revolution. And I think even if we missed the first two, I think for anyone watching today and for us, it's about how do we be fully utilizing this new revolution that's coming, which is AI and automation. And in the next 5 or 10 years, people will be saying, oh, we missed the boat when this AI came and people started learning how to really use it and how to build automation and change the way we do things and create new things with it. So that's the opportunity for now, for the next few years, is to utilize this new technology that's coming on board. So back to the report. The report talks about some of the jobs that are on the rise versus some of the jobs that are in a way declining over the next few years. So some of the jobs that are on the rise are in the AI, automation, software development, financial technology spaces, and also, as we mentioned, the green economy spaces. So renewable engineers, manufacturing, even self-driving and robotics
Vehicles
as
and
well.
robotics,
So all of those things are on the rise. And on the other side, jobs that are in the decline is more administrative roles. I'm looking at some of the recent research, even jobs in legal, in like deep in the legal field, in finance field,
in accounting.
Like in my field, in medical research,
Right.
like things that needed years of expertise and experience in analyzing, let's say, radiology reports or scans.
No longer
now
required.
I can, I go through millions and train itself, and then pick up minute changes in those scans and pick it and create diagnosis. So those are some of the roles that are on the decline. But in a way, that means that the people who are now thinking about people that are in the industries now, or people are moving into the workforce, what kind of skills and what kind of, in a way, abilities they need to have into the future over the next few years.
So just to add on to reflect on the jobs that is also related to the skills. One thing that I think it would be also on a high demand is the self-empowerment or the personal coaches, like business coaches as well. Because a lot of people, let's face it, even with the computing revolution, and then later on with the web revolution, there's people are different. Some people are actually at the front of the wave. They always can adapt quickly and faster than everyone else. Some of them are in the middle, and some of them are behind the wave. And then always in every revolution that happened in the past of humanity, there will always people will be left behind. And that would create also an opportunity for people to attend to those people and help them catch up with the weight. And then in this realm, I think also business empowerment and transformation agencies and specialists would be on a high demand for the next, because a lot of businesses are very good at doing what they're doing as a skill set and an understanding of the industry, but they're way behind the technological transformation. So they're gonna need people to walk them through and empower them with those tools without actually taking away from their time as an expert in the industry to save it, to learn that skill. And on the personal level also, personal coaches who can help people, because once a lot of especially the middle age and older people, when start to face, if they are still in productivity mode, they're still working, they're still giving to the community, they're gonna feel more desperate and more isolated once everyone else around them is actually moving on and they're not. So they're gonna need some kind of support to help them change the mindset and starting to adapt, not necessarily be experts in the field, but at least know enough so they can actually work with everyone else, even if they're on their own pace. So this is something that again that comes back to the skills that people, and especially young students, would actually need to focus on, is not only purely technological and high-tech ability to understand things and softwares and AI, but also they don't forget the human interaction with people around them, and how valuable it is for them to grow and for other people to be empowered by their knowledge in technology and AI and automation.
Yeah. So exactly right. And in a way, what this means is that into the future, it's your technical skills and the reskilling of your technical skills going to be very important. So even if you are doing a certain job, you need to always pay attention to what's happening in the industry and where things are heading. And for you to maintain your current employment and secure your future employment, you need to add to your toolkit, arsenal, meaning that you always have more than what the job requires, so that when things shift and when your job becomes threatened, then you have what it takes to modify, innovate within the same role, and adopt and provide value to the business you're part of or to the organization you're part of, allowing them to still use you into the future. Just one. So in a way, the way I think of it is, you are here with your current skills. You need, from what you described, you need two sides to you to work on. One side is the technical side. So with my skills, what other technical things should I add or can I work on, like AI, automation, connecting tools, finding new ways, innovation, so on. But also, as you mentioned before, with my current skills and knowledge and what I do now, what kind of human skills, what kind of human interactions and experiences I also need to think about, because the future is going to be with millions of AI robots and AI agents and everything being automated. Then people will need that physical human ability to connect with people. So there are two aspects that I need to work on in the current state. One is digital and automation and technology, and the other one is back to basics and back to the roots. What is the values? How do I connect with people? How do I create human interaction and experiences and give value and understand people as they're using this whatever service I'm providing? And the last thing I would say is, even more important for you as a person, or for schools and universities, to teach skills, core skills like critical thinking, like problem solving, like innovation, creative thinking, communication. Those are the skills that any person in any industry will need to have in order for them to utilize whatever tools, changing tools, and whatever new circumstances that happen.
True. And this is one thing that I can give you a very quick showcase. In the past, one of the organizations I worked with in education, they were totally focusing on the academic and letting go the social skills and creativity and so on. So part of my role before, it was to reschedule the approach to recognize the creativity, the critical thinking and social skills, and that reflects also on the culture of the organization, whether they are the teachers in the schools and even the students and even their parents. They realize that their kids are actually shifting in mindset now. they're enjoying things that they did not enjoy before in the past, and that made them also trust more the organization. That okay, they understand that the shift is technological, but they also not letting go the human interaction and the critical thinking skills. So I couldn't agree more.
Yeah,
Couldn't agree
yeah,
more.
yeah. That was a good discussion at Melbourne Uni. Now we moved to another educational institute in the suburbs. This is Kangan Institute at Hume in Broadmeadows. So we'll just continue, in a way, thinking about what would it take for a person, what would it take for a business, for government, and also for educational institutes to get the most out of this technological shift. So as we were thinking before about what kind of jobs and what kind of technologies are going to be more approachable into the future, as a person, the most important thing that that we want to tell our kids, the young people, and others around us to think about as they think about a job or a career or a business into the future is the skill of being adaptable, the skill of being open to, I would say, learning new things, and the philosophy of continuous learning and continuous development. I think this particular trait is going to be the most important trait in the people's career choices. And it doesn't matter what career, it doesn't matter what area and industry you are part of. I think that would mean that you are able to embrace new changes, reskill, and then be able to kind of utilize that in your career as well.
Yeah, true. I couldn't agree more. The one thing that I think also we can add to that is to widen your perspective beyond the tools, because every day we're having a new tools. Every day we're having new technologies that's actually taking away part of what we do as a human being, from research, critical thinking, and problem solving, and so on. So the important note that they need to be aware of, not to fall into the trap of the ease, because if everything was done by the machine, then our brain would take the backseat mode and not think and do not do any critical task, and that would actually de-skill people from what the current mode. So it is important to utilize the tool, important to leverage the tool on your behalf, but also try to, as you said, like combine different tools, trying to come up with the different solutions from a different perspective. That would keep your mind engaged into utilizing new technologies with old methods, with books and learning and education, and even community work, human interaction. So combined together, they will keep on stimulating the human brain to do critical tasks and not to take the lazy seat forward.
Exactly.
And this is a good advice. I think I've always give it to my children. Don't try to rely on ChatGPT, or don't try to, even with Google research, some people use the Google as the ultimate goal of things, but some other people no, they use as a starting point, and they go on, ask someone, ask their professor, talk to people, maybe read a couple of books, and then the sum of all that knowledge would help them form a better and more accurate insight of what the problem in hand.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's kind of a personal, on a personal level. Then if we're
Business
thinking about
level
a business, also as an organization, as a not-for-profit, as an employer, thinking about your business, your institute, how you're able to also have that mindset of being able to utilize the technology, actually kind of starts with being open to shifting the way you do things, being open to testing new ways of doing things. But then even more important than that is investing in new technologies, new ways of doing things. And when it comes to your workforce, when it comes to your staff, when it comes to your the people within your organization and your business, it's about also reskilling those people in being able to utilize what's available, not just for their sake, but it's also for your sake, because eventually, as a business, if you're unable to utilize what's out there to deliver more effective offers and solutions and services, if you're unable to utilize the technology and new ways of doing things, then you also will not be able to compete in a market where others could do the same thing cheaper or faster.
Yeah, well, this is the thing, that if others are actually adopting faster than you are as a business owner, and as an employee in a business. Imagine you're trying to run a track and you're refusing to use any tool. And then suddenly someone comes with a really speedy bicycle and they will overcome you in a second. And every minute you spend not trying to adapt to him, the distance between you and him is going to be a lot further and further. So imagine with the available tools. Other businesses, other employees, they're going to, by far, go ahead of you in the business space, and they're gonna acquire more and more share of the market, and you're gonna left really behind.
Absolutely.
Let alone the idea of having the ability to see that alone, it is a challenge. Like, you know, and I know that because we're meeting clients, business owners every day. And the first part of the conversation, they're going into denial phase. Like, no, we're fine, we're gonna do it. The more they discuss, then they say like, no, you know, maybe I'm not fine. And but I'm not willing to use the tools. 10 minutes later, say like, what can I use to develop? So this is very important to be flexible enough to consider the threat and be agile to say like, yes, there is a threat, there is a movement, there is a change. What can I do to catch up with that change? That's the very critical point of shifting perspective is very important for everyone, not only business owners, even for employees, even for government, which would lead us to the next point.
So, I mean, you know what you're describing, I mean, you said the threat, because exactly how you described it. It's really not just about the in a way, this is not going to be a luxury soon. This is going to be a life and death situation.
Exactly.
It's not like I can choose to use a tool or new technologies or new business models or new ways of doing things. If I don't decide to do that, then I'm going to stay where I am. And if I decide to use it, I'll be, let's say, 2 steps ahead. I think very soon what people will realize is that those who, in a way, take the inaction approach and say, I want to stay where I am, they will not stay where they are. They will disappear from existence because others not just will bypass them, but your business model will fall apart because you're unable to, as I said, be competitive in a market, in delivering a service or delivering a product or delivering a real cost effective solution to whatever product you're doing. So the cost of inaction is much higher now than ever before. And as you mentioned, with every revolution and every technological advance, people thought that it will not come and bite them. Like at some point, people used to kind of read the newspapers, and the radio came along, and people said, nah, there's no way people just gonna listen to the radios, like some new technology, weed, and so on. And then people adapted. And then at some point, TV came along, and people said, this is just a phase. And then TV, and then channel TV came along, and so on. And then the internet came, and people said, there's no way people leave books and newspapers.
Subscriptions and things
and
are moving.
Cinemas kind of streaming now. So all of those changes people denied and then adopted. The challenge for people to understand that this particular change that we're going through now is not going to be a decade in the making. Already in the last 2 years, things have shifted so fast, and the next 2 years is going to be even faster. And with time, the tools, technologies, and the ways we do things is going to move in an exponential way, meaning that like a week or a month that you wait now versus a week or a month that you wait tomorrow is going to make a huge difference. The faster and the sooner you move,
much more
the
expensive.
more exactly, and the more benefit you can get out of this.
100%.
So that's kind of from a personal point of view, from an organization or a business point of view, and I think also there is a role for governments and also even educational institutes
Right.
to really understand that this technology is going to change the way we learn, the way we teach, the way we interact with each other, the way we even kind of consume information. I mean, you mentioned something about teaching young people the skills. Sometimes we feel like everyone's going to have access to technology or AI, meaning that people will be smarter or more capable of doing things, but that's not always going to be the case, because with technologies, people will use less and less of the ability to come
Mindsets,
up and reason to reach a technology. So I think at this particular time, we really need to think very carefully what kind of skills we teach young people, we teach people that are thinking about a career, the leaders and the makers of the future, because those skills should not be about memorizing things anymore.
No.
Because
Yeah.
information is going to be easily accessible. It's really the skills around how do you empathize, how do you understand others, how do you communicate, and other type of skills that will be needed in that kind of a future.
There's a little bit even further a step that we can consider and the people can consider is the important part of gathering and memorizing information in the past was crucial.
Yep.
It's no longer that one. But that doesn't mean that there's no need for extra effort.
Of course.
For example, if an AI would, let's say, take a call and get all the information from the caller and prepare all the needed data to give back for this, how you giving back the information to the human? It would be extremely crucial. Like imagine a doctor trying to tell a patient about a chronic disease that they have versus an AI is just like, okay, you have this and this and this, you're gonna die in 6 months, for example. I know it's a bad analogy, but it is relevant to our real life. The way you break down information to people and you seek the feedback from their faces and then you navigate your way as another human who's trying to navigate the way to deliver the information and get the interaction, that would be extremely crucial. So you don't no longer need to memorize things. Now you really need to focus on how to act as a human with whatever you have. It's what shall I do with this information and how can I approach others around me to actually add value in a very humanized way, but really empowered and enforced by the AI knowledge and the information and all. So it is a combination, a really critical combination, and we don't assume that we know how we handle it. We're in a discovery phase, and that's the beauty of this era. It's never been done before. So everything you do is like a discovery exploration phase where you think like, okay, let me try this. It doesn't seem to work. Let me shift. Let me adopt. Let me mix and fusion things together. Maybe the outcome is better. And the learning curve of this era is very exciting, I think, I believe. And they should, if they don't have this excitement, I think they're gonna struggle more than the people who have this excitement of exploration, because it's all about knowing more, as you said, like the learning never stops.
Yep. So you see it as an opportunity rather than as a challenge or a thing that you need to overcome. As you were describing, in a way, how to be human, all right? Something else that I am thinking about with more and more technologies, more and more tools at our disposal. One, more tools doesn't mean that you're going to have more outcome, because you have more options, and that, as with a lot of things, exactly, is more confusing, overwhelming. And for you to choose the right tool, to invest in the right tool, knowing that there are another 50 tools out there that could do maybe things better, that will that will cause you to even slow down a little bit more. Whereas we know what tool we're going to use, that's what it is, and so on. It's easier to make that action. So that's also going to be the challenge into the future, where there are a lot of tools available in the market, and business owners, people will be at a loss of which one to use and how to use them. And as things develop, now this tool is better than what I used to do. I move here, and then very soon another version of it came. So that's going to be a challenge. But I think a more fundamental challenge and probably core skill that people need to have in the future, in that kind of a future, is to really fully understand the needs of human. So it's not about what tool I use, it's about why I'm using those tools and what is the outcome that I'm trying to achieve for the person. Fully understanding the pain points, fully understanding the needs, as you mentioned, fully understanding the personal aspects. I'm talking to a child who has this kind of a background, who has this kind of a way of thinking. Yes, tools could suggest things, but it's for me to first understand what is it that I'm trying to achieve. And that thing eventually becomes the core skill that you will have. And then you go to the space and you say, okay, to achieve this, because now I fully understand what the issue is, and also I have my own version and vision for what the solution could be, and to achieve that kind of a solution, that kind of an outcome, I'm going to pick this tool plus this model plus this thing to make it easier to deliver that and reach that outcome. And I think that's going to be, in a way, the
Critical.
difference between people who are focused on tools versus people who are focused on the journey and the outcomes.
And the human is like, imagine one situation that someone is getting married and you have 500 guests that you want to invite to your wedding.
Yeah.
And those 500 guests are not the same distance from you as a personal inviter. So some of them are really, really close. Some of them just like someone you know.
Yeah.
So would you send the same invitation to everyone? No. You will have them in categories, and then some of them you will send an email. Some of them you will send just an SMS with a link to register. Some of them you will actually send an actual letter to them with the really nice printing and nice paper. And some of them, they're very, very close to you. You would go personally and sit with them, have a coffee, have a discussion, and deliver the letter by hand and personal. So that again hits on the impact of what you're trying to deliver and the way you choose the way. Even though email and SMS and WhatsApp is a lot faster, more technological, adaptive, but the need of a human interaction, the need of assessing the outcome that you want to put into the process. If I want to invite you to my wedding, I would never send you an SMS. I would make sure to go and visit you at your home with your wife and your kids and take this and say, I will be honored if you come to attend my wedding. So this is the kind of approach that people would think. The outcome is more important than the tool. If the outcome is achieved with a cheap, high-tech, and the outcome is really valuable, then let it be. If not, then let's find out another way to deliver that outcome, whether it is a very classical orthodox way of delivering the information or the value or the service or whatever outcome you're trying to achieve, or it's a high-tech ticket. So it depends on the human at the end.
Exactly. So, and in a way, maybe that kind of brings us to kind of really the excitement of where we are and when we're living this kind of period of time where we are at the forefront of this a new technological shift. And as we said before, this is an exciting time. But this is kind of, again, goes back to our business and our what we're establishing with Value Nation around this fully understanding of the tools and technologies and tools, a toolbox of things that we can use versus the human understanding of what is it that a person through a journey or a business through development could achieve, or an organization could achieve, and really being able to really always go back to the core values and then use whatever tools and approach needed to deliver that particular outcome that people want to deliver. And in a way, this is an exciting time to be doing this kind of work, and it's what we think is going to be the next few years is going to be a time where you could choose to join this movement, or you could watch from afar and then, in a way, get further and further and further away from the new way of doing things from what's happening out there. So we invite people to join us on this journey, because it's going to be an exciting journey. And we have multiple ways that we're working on right now to be able to both, in a way, educate and tell people about what's happening, but also use the actual tools, use the actual new approaches in the work that we do ourselves and the work that we work with our clients and people that trust us with their businesses in delivering better solutions and better products and better services.
One thing that we always make sure to do, you and I the same, when we meet new clients or an old clients or an existing client, we capture everything and we use the tools to summarize and give us brief of the discussions and everything, but at the same time we both take hand writing notes, because no matter how intelligent the technology is, there's always a human factor that is there, something about the other person, the way he spoke about a particular thing that would ignite something in your brain, and you had to write that down because write that down because the technology would never capture that one. And then when we review the summary and the discussions and the context of our discussions, we always go back and cross-match between what the technology have captured and what we've taken as a personal notes, and then we blend and we fuse both of them to come up with the best approachable solution for the clients. So the more arsenal of the technology and tools that we have, the faster you can go, the more amount of work that you can deliver. But if you lose that one factor of the human foreseeing things and interacting with the emotions and the ideas and the body language, and that has to be the core of everything that we do. Because without this, we all become machines, and we don't want that. We always need to keep the human in the heart of the process, empowered by whatever technology, whatever tools that can be available. That's even better, but we have always to rely on the human to human interaction. And that's I think this is one of the misunderstanding that most of the people, and this is sometimes is the pushback point, like, no, I don't want the machines, I want human. I said, yes, we are human. We're gonna come with our human approach, human understanding, but powered with an arsenal of the technologies. That's the difference. Like, it's not relying completely on, I'll give your name to a logo AI, and it would create it in a seconds. But that's not the value. The value is how I understood your business, your values, and everything. And then later on, I do things from my perspective as a human. Then maybe the machine would help me go faster in creating the branding or whatever we're trying to achieve.
The way I especially when there is a pushback against any new technology, we arrived to the client's business using a car. We didn't come walking.
So or on a horse.
On a horse. we opened the laptop and got the files. We didn't have folders and files and cabinets with us. And so on and so on. So we are already using a lot of tools, and this again will be another tool added to the arsenal, to the toolbox. As you said, the most important thing is really about understanding human, because eventually, whether you're providing a service, you're providing an offer, you are creating a product, it's actually the human that will be using that. And what you need to fully understand is how that human is going to be engaging and utilizing that particular thing, and you're solving a pain point. The tools you use to get there is irrelevant. Irrelevant. If I get a text in the morning saying, "Good morning, your appointment is at this time," and that reminds me, and I go to the appointment, I don't really care if the person just sat down and wrote that. Like, the point of that,
or an AI did it.
Or an AI did it.
Right.
The point of that particular message was to remind me.
Right.
And
that's the outcome.
I tick the outcome. So if the point of the message was, "I really care for you, I hope you're well, I hope the operation went well, and let me know how you're feeling," the point of that message is actually to get a human response. And if I realize that's an AI-generated, automated message,
it will lose value.
It loses value, because the point and the outcome that I wanted from that was the human connection.
True.
So that's kind of at the core of how we think about utilizing and not utilizing and mixing and creating a hybrid model where technology is used where appropriate, automations and tools are used where appropriate, but human interactions and human delivery and human thinking is used where appropriate and where needed. So that's our approach. Maybe we'll finish with a final question to you. You've got 2 young boys. I've got 3 kids. What would be your advice and your approach to, very shortly, to your kids in thinking about this kind of a future that some people may find grim and dark and scary, and some people may find exciting and full of opportunities?
Yeah, I try to bring to them stories from the past and compare the past to the current time and perhaps to the future. Like, imagine if you were to go walking 45 minutes every time to the school. Imagine there were no buses. What would you feel? Or 2 hours to reach the school. Some people, they used to walk for hours. Of course, the answer is very obvious, and then the same thing would reflect and projected into the future. Imagine you wanna have a really comprehensive project with years of studying books and you would spend years literally to prepare for the project, while your friend is using a tool that can summarize everything. That doesn't mean that he or she doesn't understand the context of what the research has been done, or the comparison, or the data analysis on all. They actually go and read the result and understand it, and most likely they're gonna add their human touch to it, but you will be still reading the first book. So imagine that scenario in the future, and then coming back again to the same point that you said, it is just a tool. And the tool of today might not be the tool of tomorrow, and certainly is not the tool for the after tomorrow. So it doesn't matter what kind of things. The important lesson that I always try to invest into my kids, always take one step back, have some clarity, and ask yourself, what value am I giving to the others, or to the community, or to my friends, or to my family? If the value is there with this tool, that's fine. If the tool would take away from the value, exactly like what you said, then I might think again and might blend things, or maybe switch the tool, or maybe do it the old classical way. So the value, the outcome is always the goal. And then you as a human, and it's okay, which is another lesson which is also very relevant today, it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to try one time and people don't like what you did. That's a lesson learned. Say like, okay, sorry, I didn't know that. Now I can try some other way. How about doing this? How about doing that? And then the mindset of exploring and shifting and adopting and letting go things that don't work, is what I try to invest in them every day. How about you?
They're a bit younger, but for me, values, internal values, and confidence in your own value and your own, let's say, offer, your own, what you provide and what you can help with, is going to be very important. That's number one, so that you are not as a slave to the tools and the shifts that are happening.
That's nice.
You lead the narrative, and you use, as you said, whatever approach, whatever tool, whatever technologies exist out there, but you have a confidence, because as we move closer and closer, and now there are even technologies that will combine and blend, and Neuralink, where it could read your mind, and it could sometimes maybe in the future predict your
choices and so
your
on.
choices and so on. We will move to a stage where we will question what it means to be a real human.
True.
And what does a real human interaction feel like, and so on. So I think to prepare for that kind of a future, I think it's very important to always be reflective of how am I feeling, what are other people feeling, and how can I make people's life better through whatever technologies, whatever tools, whatever techniques I have. And very importantly, build confidence in your own value system, in your own personal, let's say, confidence, but also make sure that you're looking outwards. So I'm building myself to be stronger so that I could help others, because as we said a few times during this session and discussion, this time is going to also lead to a lot of instability within human personalities, where people are going to get fired, try to reflect on what's their value. People who've worked their lives on a certain things suddenly see themselves with no value. People who build businesses will lose businesses and so on. So this is going to be a shift, not just technological, but social. And that means that people need to have a little bit more resilience in being able to adapt, reflect, and understand who they are and what value they bring to the society.
100%. One a little piece of advice that I would add is engage yourself, your people around you, your family, your kids, everything, with as much as physical and human to human activities as possible, because all those technologies are doing at the moment is de-skilling people. So if you spend your entire day on a game, and every time you lose you can reset the game, in reality it's not the same. If you mess up a situation with a human or with a team or with a teacher or with the friends at the school, you can't reset the game. The harm has been done. You really need to go and find a solution for that situation. You need to face your mistakes and go and solve them in reality. And people may accept that and may not accept that. And in both cases, there's a lesson to learn. So the more all of us engage into a physical activities, physical gathering, coffee shops, meetings, human to human, fun, even office experience is different than online experiences. We all experienced the COVID kind of thing. It was so depressing because you can't meet people and you can't interact with people. You can't have this little chat on the side while you're having your cup of coffee where ideas come flying and then you're just like, oh, I didn't know you do this and I didn't know you like swimming and so on. So all that human to human interaction is so valuable and we don't need to lose that to the technology. So that's one piece of advice. Get engaged, meet people, go out, do physical things, meet people and ask questions, fail. Don't be afraid of failing and learning, because this is how we became who we are.
Absolutely. Amazing. All right, great chat. We'll do more of these chats in really kind of taking you as well, our listeners, and through our journey as we also navigate through this. None of this, we haven't done this before. This is a new time and we're going through it and we're learning and making mistakes and we're adapting and we are coming back and admitting mistakes and admitting we went too far or we didn't go far enough. So this is our journey and we're happy to share it. And if you're interested in topics like this, let us know and we're happy to come to you or create opportunities where we're having these discussions with other people.
Yeah, even a simple comment or a question or a message that we'd be happy to respond to.
Right. Thank you very much.
Discussions.
Yeah. So, yeah.